What's up, guys? Welcome back to Among the Fence. Last week I talked about the EP Micro by Jinjer, and it's kind of a part two follow-up album connection thing. I'm now going to be talking about the album Macro by Jinjer. Now, I'm not going to go too in-depth into the band Jinjer because I did that in my other review for them, but they started about 2010. They have 3 studio albums, and they are from the Ukraine. Jinjer is a prog metal / gent band, and they have a female vocalist named Tatiana, which I wasn't really sure how that was going to work out, but after listening to Micro, she is absolutely amazing. My only complaint I had about Micro was it was just a little bit too genty in terms of production, and the drums were just a little bit too out in front, maybe, especially with the snare. And I am happy to say that with Macro, they did not do it the same way. It has improved tremendously. And genty prog metal can get pretty overwhelming at times, but Jinjer manages to stay complex, but still have their music be very digestible at the same time. And there are so many songs on this album that stuck out to me, but out of all of them, Judgement and Punishment is just so good. Judgment Punishment starts out with this kind of bassy metal intro, but as soon as we go into the verse, it transitions into this jazzy reggae groove with super smooth vocals from Tatiana, who is, believe it or not, even better on this album than the last one, which I didn't think was possible. And the song goes back and forth between being smoothie, jazzy reggae kind of licks to super thick heavy metal riffs very well. And at first I was kind of taken aback, but then I was like, Oh yes. The very next song, Retrospection, is another banger that starts off with this guitar and bass passage that kind of makes it feel like an emotional descent mixed with these beautiful lyrics and vocals that are in Russian. But then the song quickly transitions into brutality with pounding drums and a violent riff that just grabs you by the shirt and pulls you in. Retrospection also incorporates kind of blast beats, maybe not so much on the bass drum, but definitely like on the toms. There's definitely some kind of death metal influence going on in the song. And while those songs are kind of more deep and emotional feeling and kind of a little bit more personal, you then have songs like Noah and Back Home, which are more brutal and aggressive in terms of music, but they're also just a lot more fun. And those are also back to back. The song Noah is about Noah's Ark, but instead of everything going smoothly, everything goes bad and the Ark ends up capsizing and it's just a horrible event. But the music does a great job at communicating just the atmosphere and how terrifying it would be. You can literally imagine this boat just getting thrown around on these waves. It's amazing. It does a great job at communicating that emotion. And the song Back Home has this really fun marching, stomping kind of groove to it with the guitar and drums. But then in the bridge, it gets really mellow with this very smooth, jazzy torch style vocals. And the opening and closing songs are so vastly different from each other, but it fits perfectly. The song On Top opens up the album with this kind of dark, genty riff. There isn't like a whole lot of music complexity going on compared to some of the other songs, but it's more about like the meaning of the song. The lyrics in it and the message is about how you become successful, and in terms of being successful, you kind of lose your happiness and your friends and other things that were important to you. And the chorus has a great hook, and it's super catchy, and the lyrics are fun. And once you hit the bridge, it's got all this passion that draws you in. The song, I guess, it just does a good job at being an opening song and getting your attention and keeping you drawn in throughout the entire album. And on the EP Micro, there's a song called Perennial, and the last song on Macro is Perennial spelled backwards. And the song is definitely a lot more atmospheric than the other songs on this album. It incorporates a lot more effects and electronics and synth sounds. The song starts out with this kind of windy intro with these weird vocal effects in the background, but then it goes into this kind of mysterious, eerie piano piece. And there's random sound bites in this song too that I feel like adds a little bit more depth to it. Like the guitar work sounds like this water droppy kind of sound, and there's the sounds of people yelling as they're falling. The song is definitely different from all the other songs on the album, but it still fits the mood really well, and it's a good finisher. The only songs I really didn't get into were Pausing Death and The Prophecy. I really didn't dislike them at all, but compared to other songs on the album, they just kind of fell in between for me. Pausing Death has a catchy riff and is a roller coaster of a song, and The Prophecy has really good drum work and really good guitar parts, but for some reason it just didn't really do it for me. Even like the lyrics are good, but I feel like it might have just ventured a little bit too much into the gentiness, and it kind of became a little monotonous in sound. So with all that said, I'm going to give Macro by Jinjer a 9 out of 10. I enjoyed Micro, but honestly, Macro is many steps above. And like I said, the progginess might have just became a little bit too monotonous for me, and it might be a little bit too proggy for a casual listener, but I still thought it was a phenomenal album. But I want to know what you guys think. If you listened to Macro before, go ahead and leave a comment below letting me know what you thought, and if you haven't, go ahead and give it a listen and let me know what you would rate it and what you think. And if you have any songs or albums you want me to review, go ahead and leave a comment letting me know what those are too, and I'll make it happen for you. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more, click the subscribe button and the little bell icon so you get notified so you don't miss out on any of my future uploads. And I hope you guys all have a good rest of your day and you're staying safe, and I'll see you guys next time.
I was trying to make it lying down.